Yes.
So today we'll discuss about RDS. Okay, so databases might you guys already aware about in your college days itself, like what is database, what is the significance of database, what are the different types of databases are there, those kind of related information. So what is there are two types of databases are there: relational database, non-relational database. Remember, database nothing but storing the data in a structured or non-structured way. That is called as a databases. Storing the data or storing the data in a structured or non-structured way. That is called as a databases. So in that there are two types of databases: a relational database, non-relational database. Okay, relational databases are what most of us all are used. They have been around since the 1970s. Think of the traditional spreadsheet. Like in very olden days, there is a spreadsheets will be there. Spreadsheet is nothing but Excel sheet only. Like we used to have the Excel sheets, right? Like that. So those Excel sheet consists of database, tables, rows, fields, columns, like that. So databases will be there, tables will be there, rows will be there, columns will be there. Then relational database types, if you think about SQL Server, Oracle SQL, Oracle Server, MySQL Server, PostgreSQL, Aurora, MariaDB, like this multiple servers will be there. I mean engines will call it as. These are the very popular SQL servers are available in the world and AWS cloud also. Then what is this non-RDS then? Non-relational databases, they also have a database, but the value will be consisting like this: key value pairs, like a collection is equal to table, document in a row, and key value pairs is equal to fields, like that. DynamoDB is a non-relational database in the AWS cloud. DynamoDB consists of JSON bar NoSQL. So how the output will looks like, JSON output will looks like in this format. Like you can see ID with some number, first name, last name, age, and some value. Like this, you can able to give the value. Then warehousing, data warehousing. What is data warehousing? Nothing but used for business intelligence tools like Cognos, Jupytersoft, SQL Server, reporting services, Oracle Hyper-V, and SAP NetWeaver, etc. Those are all the tools which will use for data warehousing. Nothing but storing the data in a big warehouses. I mean warehouses, nothing but storing the data in a big places. Then use it to pull very large and complex data sets, usually used by management to do a queries on the data such as current performance versus targets, etc. So sometimes very useful word we are going to be here, that is OLTP and OLAP, OLTP and OLAP. These are the two different words we used to hear that frequently. So that is what is OLTP and OLAP, nothing but OLTP means online transaction processing. That's a OLTP, online transaction processing. That's a OLTP. Differs from OLAP, online analytics processing. OLAP is analytics, OLTP means transaction. So OLTP example will be order number, some number will be getting up. Then pulls up a raw data such as name, data, address to delivery status, etc. OLAP transaction example Redshift. Net profit for EMEA and Pacific for digital radio product pulls in large number of old records. Some of the radios sold in EMEA, some of the radios sold in Pacific. Like this, I mean conversation. If you want to see that, then we're gonna use this OLTP and OLAP. Then Elastic Cache will be there. What is Elastic Cache means? Elastic Cache is a web service that makes it easy to deploy, operate, and scale an in-memory cache in the world, in the cloud. Sorry, the service improves the performance of the web application by allowing you to retrieve the information from fast, managed in-memory caches instead of the relying on entirely on the slower disk-based databases. Elastic Cache supports two types of open source in-memory cache engines, that is Memcache and Redis. Now RDS will be coming to picture. RDS nothing but Relational Database Service or the Relational Database System. Backups, multi-agent and read replicas. These are the concepts we are going to learn as part of today's class. We have a automated backups will be there. There are two types of backups for AWS. One is automated backups and snapshots, database snapshots, two options. What is this automated backups? Allows you to recover your database to any point in time within a retention period. This retention period can be between 1 and 35 days. Automated backups will take a full daily snapshot and will also store transaction logs throughout the day. When you do a recovery, AWS will first choose the most recent daily backup and then apply a transaction logs relevant to the day. This allows you to do a point in time recovery down to a second within the retention period. Then automated backups are the enabled by default. Backup data is stored in S3 bucket and get a free storage of the equivalent size of the database. So you have RDS instance size of 10 GB, you will get 10 GB worth of storage. Then backups are taken within a defined period. During the backup window, IO storage IO. That means you cannot write and you cannot take the output from the database when you're taking the backup. Then snapshots. DB snapshots are done manually and they are user initiated. So they are stored even after you have deleted the original RDS instance, unlike automated backups. So that means snapshots are standalone. Okay. So then restoring the backups. Whenever you restore them an automatic backup or a manual snapshot, when the restored version of the database will be a new RDS instance with the new DNS endpoint, like this will be reflecting. Then encryption. The encryption at rest is supported by MySQL, Oracle SQL, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, MariaDB and Aurora. Encryption is done using the AWS KMS service. Once your RDS instance is encrypted, the data stored at the rest is the underlying is encrypted, as are its automated backups and read replicas and snapshots. At present time, encrypting the existing DB infrastructure is not possible, not supported also. To use RDS instance encryption for an existing database, you must first create a snapshot, make a copy of that snapshot and encrypt the copy. Then what is this multi-agent? Nothing but in the beginning class of the AWS we are discussing region availability zones. Correct. Availability zones nothing but agents. Multi-agent nothing but in one region more than two availability zones will be there. That means three plus will be there. So data will be segregated across the multiple availability zones. That is called as a multi-agent. Multi-agent allows you to have an exact copy of your production database in another availability zone. AWS handles the replication for you. So your production database is written to this write will automatically by synchronize it to the standby database. Standby means secondary database will be there. If primary is not working, it will automatically go to the secondary. Failover we'll call it as. In this event, the planned database maintenance DB instance failure or agent failure, Amazon RDS will automatically fail over to the standby so that the database operations can resume quickly without administrative intervention. Multi-agent is a disaster recovery only. It is not primarily used for improving the performance. For performance improvement, you need read replicas. So multi-agent databases include SQL Server, Oracle SQL, MySQL Server, PostgreSQL Server, Aurora, and MariaDB will be supported for that. Then what is read replica? Read replica allow you to have a read-only copy of your production database. This is achieved by using asynchronous replication from primary RDS instance to the read replica. You use read replicas primarily for read heavy database workloads. Read replica databases, MySQL Server, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, Aurora, like this can be used. Then used for scaling, not for DR. DR means disaster recovery. This is not for disaster recovery. This is only for scaling only, auto scaling. Must have a automatic backups turned in the harder to deploy a read replica. You can have up to 5 read replica copied of any database. You can have a read replicas of the read replicas, but watch out for a latency. Each read replica will have its own DNS and endpoint. Also, you have a read replicas that have multi-agent. You can create a read replicas of multiple own source databases. Read replicas can be promoted to their own databases, but this will break the replication. You can have a read replica in the another region also. Okay, then we have a DynamoDB. DynamoDB is a NoSQL. Okay, so like for example, what is DynamoDB means? Amazon DynamoDB is a fast and flexible NoSQL database service for all applications that need a consistent single-digit millisecond latency at any scale. It is a fully managed database and supports both the document and along with key value paired models. It is flexible data model and reliable performance make it great fit for mobile, web gaming, adjacent technology, IoT and many other applications can able to run in the DynamoDB. Like we have a SSD storage, solid state devices storage will be there, spread across three geographically distinct data centers, eventual consistent reads which is default, and the strongly consistent writes will be there. Also, eventual consistency it is nothing but consistency across all the copies of the data usually reached within a second. That means compared to that RDS, MySQL, okay, DynamoDB is very popular. Why? Because DynamoDBs require very low time to query the data and fetch the data, but normal SQL servers require a more time to fetch the data. That's the one advantage. Strong consistency rate is nothing but strongly consistent rate is the result that reflects all the writes that received a successful response prior to the read. DynamoDB pricing wise, if we discuss, provision throughput capacity, write throughput 0.0065 per hour every 10 units, then 0065 for hour every for read 50 units, then storage cost of 0.25 per GB per month can be calculated. Okay, so then pricing example, if you think about that, let's assume that your application needs to perform 1 million writes and 1 million reads per second per day while storing 3 GB of data. First, you need to calculate how many writes and reads per second you need. 1 million evenly spread writes per day is equivalent to 1 lakh writes per 24 hours per 60 minutes per 60 seconds is equal to 11.6 writes per second. That much will happen. Okay, if you calculate in the down, write capacity 0.0065 for 10 into 12 into 24 means 0.1872, then 0.0374. Like this the bill will get. If it this is a very frequent question in the interview, they'll ask about that. What is the difference between DynamoDB and RDS? DynamoDB offers push button scaling, meaning that you can scale your database on the fly without any downtime. But RDS is not a easy, and you usually have to use bigger instance size to or add a read replica to the RDS. Okay, that's about the Aurora. Okay. Let me show the practical for this, then you guys will understand the better way. So how this will gonna work, we'll get to know. So we need to search for RDS. Here databases, left side databases are there, we can click on databases, create database, standard create, easy create, two options are there. Let it be standard create. I'll gonna choose MySQL here. MySQL is the option I selected, but this many options are there. Aurora MySQL, Aurora PostgreSQL, MySQL PostgreSQL, MariaDB, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, IBM DB2. This many options are there. Okay, I'm choosing MySQL is a better one. Engine version, everything is a default. I'm using this for free tier. Choose free tier. Then database one, admin is a username. Then I need to generate the password for this. I'll give admin123. My password admin123. This will use to log into the database. Same way, admin23. Then all good, but this is very lengthy one. This was not required. Micro I'll use db t3.micro. Storage is also okay. Don't connect to EC2 instances. Then default VPC, dev VPC I'll choose. Create a new DB segment group. Okay, let it be security group. Existing security group I'm using. I'll use security group called my custom VPC SG. The security group I use in availability zone. I can choose 2A. Create RDS proxy not required. Tag is also not required. Password authentication, everything is default. Then I can click on create database. Then database will be created. In the meantime, I want to create one of the server. Let me see, is the server will be in any other security network? Public subnet. Okay, this server I'll use anyway. You guys have this server, right? Docker 6 PM server. Let me start this server. I log into this server only. Why do we need another server? We'll use the same server only. We can use this server and we can log in. In this server, we need to install MySQL for connecting. I mean, how to interact with the database means I'm gonna show how to interact with m update -y m install -y MySQL not there. Okay, I need to check that how to install MySQL then. Okay, nothing required, just you guys can install this two is fine. We just required a MariaDB or MySQL, any one of these is required. Anyway, this command is going to install that. Once the installation is done, then we can connect that. We can open the database. So we need to connect this now. Before connecting, so we have security group is there. We need to click on the security group. We need to edit the security group. Edit. Action. Oh, sorry. Actions. Edit inbound rules. Edit inbound rules. MySQL bar Aurora is there. Okay. Then save changes. It's correct. Then we can try to connect that now. Let me go back. RDS. So we need to plan it like this. MySQL space -h. Here the